Just setting things up here. All right. So let's get started here. Welcome. So yeah, last time we did some camera stuff, and we ended up basically what we started with, except a little more smooth when the player sort of teleports. Quote unquote teleports, like if the player just moves instantly to another location, such as when you start to climb a ladder. We do a smooth transition for the camera instead of a snappy sort of panning instantly to the target. But otherwise, it's pretty much locked on the player. Now, we did a couple of experiments where, for example, a small horizontal offset in the direction the player is facing. And I vowed to sort of decline that because, yeah, it feels like you already have a good view of the sort of area. So it feels like it's not really necessary. And it also caused a little bit of issues with the camera sort of trying to catch up and stuff. So I mean, I guess we could still have, like, you know, a really small one, and if the camera is fast enough it can sort of catch up to it, but I don't think it's necessary, so we just don't have that right now. We might add it in the future if it becomes a good thing to do, but for now let's just leave it. It's easy enough to implement anyway. And then we also experimented with vertical locking until the player jumps on a different elevation. So basically the camera is locked on the vertical plane, but when you jump onto a platform that's, say, a little bit above, the camera will sort of follow once you've landed on the new platform. But it ended up feeling, I mean, it felt kind of nice when you were sort of in an area where you had different sections basically. But when you're in an area that is more like fluid, I guess you could say, more like you had a lot of platforms and a lot of different elevations to work with, then it didn't really feel like it was a good camera feature. So I actually think we should not actually have this vertical locking thing. And there was a lot of like issues with it, like exactly how it should work and actually implementing it and fine-tuning, you know, what's a good thing for it. And it really depends on like the level design and stuff like that. So we're not gonna do that, I don't think. But one thing that I noticed when I looked at some videos of Hollow Knight, for example, which is a game that I usually, I take a lot of inspiration from, but it is a really good game. But the camera in that, I just went and looked how they did it, and they sort of have the camera centered on the player. They have a little bit of, you know, this horizontal offset, but I don't think we need that. But they have a thing with sections. So it's like, depending on where you are in the level, let's say you have a level which has like a narrow corridor, which is very low in height, a long narrow corridor, and then it opens up into a larger area. So how it does that is, in the narrow corridor, since it knows you're in this area, the corridor area, it binds or the boundary of the camera is now set to that sort of section almost, at least vertically, not horizontally. Horizontally, it's not bounded except for the level edges, the outer sort of level edges. But in that section where you're in a corridor, it actually locks the vertical to that corridor. So when you reach an open area, it sort of unlocks or changes the boundary of the vertical to be, I guess, the size of the level or the size of that section itself. So that I felt was very clever, and we can probably implement that ourselves, but that would require. I don't think it's easy to do maybe automatically to do that. Maybe you could, but I think we can just add a bunch of rectangles in the level, and that will become like the different sections. And then if we detect that you're in one of the sections, you can set the camera boundary to whatever that's needed there. So I think that's doable. I'm not gonna implement that right now though. But I wrote a couple of things down with this so we can keep this in mind, because I feel like this is really good if you want to have secrets that are like, let's say you have a secret that's just another section of the level, but you don't know that it is there, but once you've gained access to it, the camera sort of unlocks in that direction so that you can actually see that, oh, there's more things here. So that's yeah, that's one thing that we're probably gonna add, but not right now. Okay, so what else have we done, or are we gonna do? So I've been thinking of the dialogue system, because we worked a little bit on that, and I think I wanna sort of finish off the full sort of. We've been working on dialogues and quests, and I want to finish off sort of a full cycle there, so to speak. So basically, that you can go to an NPC, you can talk to an NPC, get a quest. The quest sort of notification will come up and say you've got a quest, and then you can also see the quest maybe in your quest log, and then you can. Well, I guess you can complete the quest, but we don't have a way of completing quests right now. I mean, I guess it's just, we can just say it's gonna be completed in a time or something like that, and then it's completed, and then you go and turn it in and get some sort of reward, I guess. So that's totally doable. We have already a lot of things for that, and what we need to add is gonna be, let's see, for quests. So I do want to maybe add this notification system to show that you've accepted a quest. We do have quests now in a data structure, but I'm not sure if we actually have. Well, yeah. So we do have. Wait, no, that's the actual quests here. Yeah. So we do have this way of defining quests, and we can define a quest. Let's say wait 10 seconds. That's a quest now. So wait for 10 seconds. That's the actual quest. And now you have sort of the quest label and then the description of the quest. And then the quest is going to be, we're going to show a notification that you have accepted a quest, and then when it's completed, it's going to show a notification, and then you can, well, actually, maybe, yeah, a notification where you're able to go back and get the reward, I guess, would be more accurate to say than completed. You complete the quest, but then you turn it in as well. Yeah. There's some quests that I've written down. Okay, so we have completed, and we have, I guess, yeah, quest received, and then I have a notification that says that now you can turn it in, sort of, and then it's completed when you've actually turned it in. I guess done. We could call it done and then completed when it's turned in. Yeah. Oops. Okay, but for that we actually need to make a notification system. So yeah, a notification system, and then we also need to add the quests to the dialogue options as well. So we need dialogue options to be able to have this sort of quest type. So we could, because that sort of enables you to accept a quest. So if you go to dialogue and we have options, which is this one. So this is a dialogue option. And I think we could make a type of option that is the actual quest, I guess. Yeah. And then we bind that to the quest, and then we already have like a label, and we have the description, but maybe we should have like a dialogue text for it as well. So let's actually make this into a thing here. I think the label should probably, well, actually the label, this could actually be custom for the dialogue option. I don't know if I'm making a lot of sense here, but you'll see it when I'll show it here. It's basically that the quest has its own label when you see it in the quest log, but here it can have, when you actually talk in and getting the quest, the label for that is not the same as the quest sort of title. So I guess either we could have a quest which is like a nullable quest or something like this, so that this one actually points to a quest or not, and then it's a quest option. Or we could have a type which is sort of has more state to the option depending on what type of option it is, but I don't think we're gonna have much more than the quest type, so I'm just gonna do this for convenience. And let's add this here. So we need to grab quest, I think. Yeah. So this quest is, yeah, it's this one. Maybe we need some sort of key to the quest as well. Maybe it should be a key instead, actually. Because if it's a key, we can go into the quest state instead and use that to get the quest itself. Yeah, let's use a key instead here, or the ID or whatever. So this will be the ID. Actually, what is the ID? It's a quest key, and the quest key is this one. It's a field enum. So we actually need the quest key instead. And this will be from quests. There. Alright, so now that's a quest key. So that's actually an enum instead. And we will set that to the quest. And it's unknowable. Okay. Let's see where we are dealing with this. Oh yeah. So this one does not have a quest, I guess. Yeah. So now we can define a dialogue option that actually has a quest. So let's say we add a dialogue option which is, I don't know, waiting. Please wait a bit. Or I don't know. I just want to make the thing here. Please wait 10 seconds. Okay. And then this quest, this enum will be this wait 10 seconds. So like this. Oh, it's large S. Okay. It's really nice that you get this sort of compilation error for the enum as well. Okay. So that's the one that we have there, and then the other ones are null, so they are not a quest thing. Okay. So now this should actually show up because we're under the elder here, so it should show up in his dialogue options. So if we go and talk to this guy, let's do this. Let's change this to, I believe it's called Test Village Scene to start with. Okay, and here's the elder, and we have this waiting thing. Please wait. Yeah, I haven't added the numbers to the code point, so we have to do that as well. Code points. Let's add the numbers here. Okay. And I think apostrophe and quote, double quote. Or quote and double quote, yeah. Okay, so yeah, so we get this now. Now we need to make sure that when we take this thing, maybe we want, I mean, either I was gonna say we want to make sure that the player can choose to take the thing or wait with it, I guess. So I guess that could be in the dialogue system. So that would be under active dialogue. So here it's like we can cancel to go out. We can accept to either go to the last page or either go to the next page, or if it's the last page, we're gonna do something. But now we need a way for the player to choose an option. And I guess that could be an extension of the dialogue system, or the dialogue like sort of option. We could have, or this part, like a page. So instead of only being a list of strings, it could be a list of pages, and then each page, or I guess page is wrong word. I mean, it's sort of one actually what we could do is have so what I was thinking is either we change this type to be this sort of thing, and then what that is you still have the text. Now this should be called like pages. And then you have options, which is a nullable or a list of options. but then these options sort of take you to do different actions. So it's actually like a page option and a page option. So this is what's my idea. Sort of a page option has a label, so it's sort of like yes or no or something, and then you have some sort of action which can be like multiple things. So you would have well, it should be a struct. Wait, no, enum, no, union, enum, yeah. Oops. So one is just go to option, which is wait, like this, and then this one is go to option. There's a lot of things here now, but basically different actions. So you would have go to option, which is sort of, you have the option, which is, I guess, a pointer to an option, or it could be a key or whatever. I guess you can have accept quest as well, and that one just accepts the quest, you know, and different stuff. So either you can, and this allows you to have like a branching dialogue as well. So you can have a branching tree of dialogue options, like this. And but then I think maybe we could also do it like this. We could have the options out here instead. Yeah, I think that makes more sense actually. So we have the options out here because we already have sort of this text structure here. So we show all the text and then you show the options after that. So this would be, or I mean, responses, I guess we could call them. Or this would be union enum, and then you have like go to option, yeah, go to option, and this one is option is going to be an option, and then the label. So you would have a label to show for each response. I guess you could have, I guess this could be a struct that has type like this, and then the label is always going to be there, so we don't need to specify the label. Okay. So something like that. And you know, you can have accept quest as well, which then has a quest key. Yeah. So then we don't really have a or because my idea of having the quest here is like you can already see in the options that this option will actually yield you a quest. So if you pick this option, you already know that you're gonna get a quest. So it's basically like you're already sort of accepting the quest. But I want the option to actually and then you can now cancel as well. Which sort of ends the conversation. Like end conversation. So I think, yeah, this one this becomes a little bit weird now because it sort of depends on the data, on the actual data that we have in the structure. You could still have this data structure, I guess. You can have like a marker. Instead now we say has quest. And if you have a quest, if this option has a quest, then it shows in the UI some sort of like you know, icon that shows, this option, if you pick this option, then you get a quest. But then you have to go in and accept the quest, and then we get the quest key here. Maybe we shouldn't have an icon for if we have a quest. It's sort of just like a helpful thing, I was thinking. But maybe the quest should be more like you have to talk to the people to get the quests. But you don't know if you're gonna get a quest or not. But it's gonna probably be pretty obvious anyway. So maybe this is not really needed though. I'm just okay. So I'll delete that for now. But I think I like this response structure here. So, I mean, either you don't have any response and then you can just end the conversation, just like we're doing now. At the end of the thing, it just, if you press the button, it's gonna end the conversation. But then, if you have responses that you can give, you can have either a dialogue tree, then you can use this one, and then you can have, you know, accept a request. It can be this one, or ending the conversation. It's like bye bye, or saying no instead of yes, or whatever. So I think that's kind of cool because now this enables a lot of things. Okay. Okay. Oh yeah. So now this is not a quest anymore. But we could add responses now instead. Should probably be like const there. Maybe responses are, I'm not sure if they should be have like enabled or not. We could just add it here though, if that's the case, and make them like sort of mutable, and yeah, then you can just change that. That's no problem. They're already stored in a mutable state, so that's easily changed. But now we can, so now we can define responses. Yeah, and then here we have please wait 10 seconds, and then you can say, instead of wait 10 seconds, we're gonna say well, actually, could it be mutable if you define it like this, or do we have to sort of store it on heap? I don't know, actually. Well, I guess we'll find out. Well, I mean, technically it can. You can store things in like read and write memory. But anyway, so let's see. This will be Oh yeah. So we have type, we have label and stuff. Wait. Isn't this gonna be like this? Yeah, it's a list. So let's see. The label is okay. And then or just like this. And then whatever, it doesn't matter. It's just an example here. So or to test the system here. And then you have type, which is, oh my god, the LSP really doesn't know what's going on here. The type is accept quest. And accept quest has a quest, which is this one. Okay, and then we also have, well, yeah, that's all there is, right? And then maybe you have some dialogue after that. I don't know. You could also have that as well if you want. Expected type, blah blah blah, found type of enum. I think there we go. And then this one will be empty. There we go. Okay. And then we add another response as well, which is like no thanks. And this one is just no. It's just gonna be end conversation. That's right. Okay, there I got some LSP from that. Okay. So now we have two responses that we can do there. Okay, now we need to actually add the functionality to have responses, to sort of give responses and choose responses. So when we are in an active dialogue, which we are calling this, we need to go here now, and we need to say, so we have current page. If we're at the last page, then we can show the options, you know. And then we also need to know which option or which response. So let's have current response. We'll default that to 0. So if we are at the last page, we also want to show the responses. So what we could do is, wait, where am I? What we could do is say here, if we're at the last page, we are pressing accept. Then we're actually accepting the response that we have, if we have responses. So we're gonna check if option responses length is more than 0, then we're gonna say handle response options responses, option responses, and then current response. So we're gonna basically, yeah, we're gonna do that. We're handling that. Otherwise, we don't have any responses, so we just end the dialogue. Yeah, we need this handle response now. Response. This one takes a response, which is dialogue. Wait, where is this thing? Oh, it's play component. Okay. Dialogue state active. No, it's in here. It's option. Okay, so we need to import this now. Is it this or is it dialogues? Wait. Oh, it is called. Wait. No. No, this is dialogue. Oh. So where is option? Oh, it's already here. Okay. Well, I'm confusing myself. Okay. So it's gonna be dialogue. No, component option response. Alright. So we're gonna switch on response type, and if it's end conversation, then yeah, we need the player component. The player component dialogue is no dialogue, so we end the conversation. If it is go to option, we simply do this. Act dialogue equals to. We should already have an active dialogue, so maybe we can just change this and then wait, but we need to actually reset it as well. Yeah, let's just do this, and then this will be dialogue active. Active dialogue target. And the options. The option. Options. Wait. So how would we get the option then? Are we gonna use a key as well? Let's see. Here we already have options because we're choosing between them. We're entering the dialogue, we're populating. No, wait, we're choosing. Oh, we're getting it from this one. Okay, yeah. But now we actually get an option that maybe doesn't even exist here. So I think maybe we should just have a pointer to an option. But this is going to be part of this one. Oh, yeah. There we go. That's the option. Okay. Great. But the problem though is the options are stored in here, so... Wait, these options are actually not pointers? Yeah, we should be pointing to these like original options and not have these stored as, yeah. And I think if it's possible, wait, found const. Oh yeah, this one, but this is not const. Now it's not const. Okay. Oh, because it comp time. Okay, so you cannot actually have mutable outside of comp time. So we have to store this in like the heap. Okay. Because my idea was to have this as sort of a global that you can change, a mutable global, to make it easier. But yeah, now we need some sort of container. We need to, I mean, we can just make a container, put that into the registry, I guess. Do we have that already? No, we don't have that. So we do have that for the quests, but not for... Oops. Yeah, we have this container for the quests. Or it's not really a container, but well, it's a container for the things that should be mutable, I guess. For the quest. We should probably have the same for the dialogues then. And use this whole key thing as well for whatever. So we probably, yeah. Let's do that. Let's copy this pattern, put it in here, because we need to make them mutable in order to change stuff like wait, why do we need the options to be mutable? Yeah, if they're enabled or not, I think, yeah. But now we should only store things in here that are not mutable, or we could include everything here that we need and then grab whatever else. Okay, it's a bit complicated here. Let's just, we need this. Dialogues is type of dialogue options, I guess. Dialogue options. We have dialogue option key. It's gonna be the field in and of that. Now we also have the state of each option. And the state right now is only like if it's enabled or not, if it's like shown. But I guess let's add that as well. Options state. Option states. I guess enabled would be like is shown, I guess we could call it. And here we have a sort of a struct that is used to take both the mutable and immutable states so that you can see the entire quest or the entire structure at once. So let's call this dialog option info, and you would have the option, which is a dialog option, and then yeah, then you would have, wait, how is that? Oh, I actually misspelled this. Oops. Okay, and then the state is gonna be dialog option state. Oh wait, this is just singular. Here we have the states. Dialog option states. Or should it be called options states? I don't know. So this would now have key and state. And this is state, key. I don't think we need to get all the active. Well, we don't have active, I guess. So, and then it's like which dialogue is on which entity, and that's actually the responsibility of the dialogue component to store that. So I guess that now becomes like we store not this hash map of options, we store actually a list of keys instead. So this one would be a list of keys, and that's basically going to be all the dialogue options this NPC is ever going to have. So it can be just a constant list of dialogue option key. And then, yeah, we will give this here. And we will just set that to that. And so, well, I guess when we initialize it and we populate it, like when we call this, this is basically after we've initialized it. So we can just initialize it here instead. And we also need the dialog option container to exist for this. I mean, I guess we can initialize with the NPC ID. And then no, where is Oh yeah, because the options are already stored, like... Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, the options are not a flat list of options. They are actually already... We already have this. Okay. So actually... We don't really need to store options. We just need to store the ID, I guess, for the NPC. Which is gonna be sort of the key to... Okay. So this is a bit more complicated than the quest one, because the quest is basically just a flat list. This one is actually a list of lists. So we have both keys for the NPCs here, but then we also have keys inside, but we don't... But those keys... I mean, I guess they could be turned into enums as well. But this dialog option key does not refer to a single dialog option. It refers to a list of dialog options, you could say. Maybe we should not actually have it as this list then. Maybe we should have it as a flat list. I mean, I guess you could sort of meta program this to be like comp time this to be I'm just thinking I mean, what's gonna be like easy and feasible? Okay. Since we already have this structure for a flat list, what I mean is if we make this into a flat list, what we could do is then define, okay, we know it's a flat list, but then we can grab whatever list of these dialog options we want for the elder and put that in a separate list. So we have that as well. Because then you can easily go into this list and grab out whatever information you want. I mean, what we also could do is say the key is actually a struct that has two keys. We have the NPC or the sort of group, and well, the other one is going to be sort of, but this is the issue here now, because the other key is sort of dependent on the first key. So technically you could have different keys, well, keys that are not sort of compatible. Maybe that could be constructed into a type. I mean, couldn't you do this? You have dialog key, and you have dialog. So this is the group key, let's say, and then you have the actual. And then you have. So this one is gonna be this. Okay. Now you have the key, which is actually a function that takes a comp time group key. Or does it actually need... It doesn't even need to be comp time, I don't think. Well, it does need to be comp time if we're gonna produce a type. Yeah. So my idea was to have a dialog option group key here, and that would produce a type, which would be field enum and then dialog options. Well, you would do type of field dialog options. Wait. And you access group key. Well, now you can do this, I think. Field info, dialog options, and this one is the key. So now you have that field, and now you can just say this will be a field enum of this type. So now you have the sort of inner key as well, but the issue now is to be able to construct this, or you can define the keys in comp time, but if you get a runtime value of the group key, you cannot construct this type from that. Well, actually you can if you do the inline 4 thing. Well, yeah. Fields. No, not what? No. Okay, shouldn't this work? No, wait. Well, I guess this would just be field.type, right? Does that work? Let's do this for now. Unattached documentation. Oh. Can we do this? Okay, so yeah, so I believe now we can send in, well, if this works, I'm not sure if this compiles, we can send in a runtime value to a thing which produces a type. I'm not sure if this works. I mean, you're probably gonna get a weird, like, sort of type that is not actually resolved in the compile time. I guess, maybe. So then this would be so now we get I don't know what to call it. Let's just call it keys or ID or something. I don't know. So we'll have the group, which is the option group key, and wait, no, this needs to be a function, yeah. But if it's a function, this doesn't work because it's not generic. It can't be generic. It has to be. Yeah, so this doesn't probably work. Okay, I'm just gonna do it the hard way, or sort of not the hard way, or the annoying way, I guess. This is gonna be a flat list. Yeah. So we're gonna remove this.
regrettably, because I mean, it's a way to... I mean, I guess technically what you could do is you can sort of super meta program this. You can still have these list of lists. Then go in and when you construct this key here, you go in and grab all the enums that are in the sort of most inner lists. So we grab these inner ones on all of the lists and compile them into one enum. And then you also keep sort of the structure, so you know which one belongs to the elder, which one belongs to whatever. Yeah, because then defining the thing is way easier. But it's gonna be a hassle to actually do it, I guess. We could copy this functionality in here. Or we could do, let's say, this is a key. Let's do... copy this. And then this will be like a... Let's make a thing here. Yeah. So this is like comp time, I guess. Yeah, it doesn't need to be set to comp time. So we'll construct the type in here, sort of the same thing that we're doing in here. Here, we're grabbing field infos like this. And we're returning stuff like that. This is a sort of array. A type. Wait. No, it's an object, yeah. Oh yeah, it's a type thing. It's a type object. So it's an enum with these things. Otherwise, it's going in here and it's like constructing the thing here. So let's grab this part. Okay. And then we'll break that out. Now, the length of this is unknown. So I want to make this into a slice. Right. Wait, can this... that one is just an empty thing. Yeah, so we don't even need this. Okay, so we will go into the fields of dialog options. And then we'll say in here, we'll simply concatenate this. So this is equal to enum fields plus. And then we need another list. And this is... And then we need this part. Okay. Well, I'm not sure about the value. Well, okay. Oh yeah. Wait. No, what am I doing? Now we also need to inline for the fields of the type of the field. So we need to so now we're inlining for this. That's what we already did. Now we're inlining for this part. Okay. This will be field of type now, and we also grab a thing there. So this is inner field J. Okay. Redundant. Okay. Fine. Tag type. Yeah. So this is gonna be enum fields dot length -1. Unused capture, yes. So the value is gonna be I times, wait, we actually want to keep a counter instead, so let's do I outside here instead. Okay, so this is going to be starting at 0, yes, and then we increase that by 1. Yeah, this is going to be, so the thing is, do we want to include the field name in here? Like, it could be something like this to make it like not, so you don't have conflicts, naming conflicts. Let's do that. So the field names are going to be like elder underscore waiting. That's going to be one key. Okay. So we're sort of constructing our own enum here. I don't know if this is a good idea, but we'll just go with it and we'll see. So now let's define one of these types, so, or one of these values. So let's say we have a key, which is a dialog option key. Now we don't get a autocomplete for this. I mean, you can see the LSP doesn't really know what this is. So however, we do get sort of the correct thing, or the correct, oh yeah, maybe because it's a type there. Actually, we could say this is a type, then it knows. Okay, and then we also do this. Okay, so those are types. Okay. Now we'll say that this, for example, this is going to be elder underscore waiting. And if we say if it's something that doesn't exist, it doesn't care because it's not compiled, I guess. But that's that sort of, now we get a unique thing into here. However, how do we actually access the things with that now? Yeah, because we're constructing an enum, but it's not like we can access the thing with these enums. We have to sort of construct a way to access this now. I think, okay, you know what? This is telling me that we should probably just remove this this structure here. We could go all the way. I think there is a way to do it. I just feel like we're way down the rabbit hole and it does not feel good. So yeah, this is just gonna be the same as the quest thing. So this is just gonna be dialog options. Yeah. Because then also we keep sort of the same structure of quests and dialogues, and maybe we have some sort of generic thing there between different types of stuff. And maybe that can be further sort of generalized down the line, where if we keep the structure for everything, then we can do, you know, abstract or generic sort of operations that we can define for all of these things, and then we will save a lot of work. But so it is a good idea to have sort of the same structure of things, but yeah, now we need to define more things outside as well. I'm not sure what is the best thing, but or option here, but I think this kind of weird because it becomes sort of disconnected between the NPCs and the dialogue options now, but they are sort of very coupled. You know, you don't. This is never going to be on two different NPCs. That's kind of the issue also that we have. But it is super nice to be able to have one key that you can use to access any of the options and change them. So that's why I'm doing it like this. And you can have this one, for example. You can have get option by ID. And then this is a option key. And then you get an option. And this is dialog options. So for example, this structure, the container, could be sort of abstracted and generalized over a lot of things, but I'm not sure if I want to do that yet. It remains to be seen. So then you wouldn't have to define these things for each and every type of thing that you want to do this for. It might not necessarily be more than what we have right now, so then it's probably unnecessary to abstract it. But it's just something to keep in mind when you're building a project, that sometimes it's very nice to have things in sort of the same structure, that so that you can actually do save a lot of work accessing them. Have one way of doing things. If it fits, that is. If it doesn't fit, then it's not good. But if it does fit, it's really good. Use of undeclared idle requests. Oh yeah, this is dialog options. But then that does... yeah, no, that's fine. Wait, what is it called? Dialogue? Oh, it's misspelled. Okay. Great. Actually, I'm not sure if you actually need to do this. We should have like field index. We could use this, I think. Because if we use the index, that's gonna have the same order as, yeah, fields. So if we just do... I mean, I guess we already have the index. No, the point is that if we look at this, this goes through all the fields in the same order as we're building the enum, and it's basically doing the same thing and grabs out the index that's equal to this name. However, that's also what we're sort of doing here, but we're accessing the field directly. But we can use this to see if we get the fields. I mean, I guess the issue is we're trying to... So my idea was, couldn't we just do this? Because this is actually... The value of this is the index of whatever we need to do. But I'm not sure if you can if you can access this comp time with this, or if you need to do like a switch or a loop to match it. It feels like this should be like a table that you look into where the table knows the different sort of positions of each field, and then you access the nth element of this table and you look up, okay, where should I look for this field? But I don't think it works like that here. I think you actually, if you want to access this ComTime array, you need to use a ComTime value, which we don't have. But what we could do is, instead of comparing the name here, we could just compare. I mean, we could just compare the index, I guess. You would do, because that's less work. So you would do this, and then you would compare, instead of the name, you would compare the key is equal to int, wait, in and from int I. And then this is key, this is this in here. So you check, is this equal to this? Then we return whatever this one here. And then we don't need this either. So that's a more easy way to check, or more performant way of, I guess, checking for the thing. I think that's how it works. We could go to quests and change that out as well. And now this is a quest key. And we need this. Alright. Okay. Now here, instead of accept and this, we can do show option, or we can do like hide option. Yes. Now let's see. This is a type. So we get the state, we found it, we do, if it's shown, then we set that to true, otherwise, yeah, we set it to true, and then this is this. Okay. Oops. Let's actually go over here and change this to a type as well, so we get the correct LSP for that. Okay, this one is a state. And then hide option, that we say this is false. Okay. So the same thing as quests here, that states aren't actually saved. You don't get the states until you manually sort of set it. So from the start, I think this would be sort of the default state. So when you want to get an option to get the state, you can actually mutate the state of the option here. You want to do that. Well, this one actually does not give you anything useful. I think we should give the state here, but you cannot actually change the state. It's not mutable. So this one, so we return Wait. No. Let's get that one as... Let's make this... That's the option. Let's do state as a different one. And then this one uses that. So this one will be get option by ID, which is the key. And this one is... This one needs self here. But it's not mutable. Okay, and we return the option. Oops. And then we also return state. And the state is gonna be get key, or else it's gonna be the sort of default state. Right, so you're gonna get an immutable... Wait, no, this is info. That's right. Yeah, that's info. So you're gonna get a immutable state here. Actually. And then you have to change the state through this container, because it sort of optimizes the storage used or needed for this. Let's remove this one. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so now the whole issue that we were dealing with here is this should actually be const. It's not var, because it can only be like a comp time mutable thing. So that's not what we're doing. We want to actually make it a constant here. So the whole issue was that I thought that if we put var here, that we could actually have this as a mutable sort of global, but that's not possible, I guess, in SIG in runtime. So it is possible in comp time, but not runtime, and it's runtime that I want. So that means that we have this sort of container instead that keeps track of the mutable state of each option, exactly the same as we do with quests. And then the good thing about this though is that now we can save these states in the actual save file as well. So it's way easier to grab out the actual mutable part that's savable, or that we actually care about saving, because all the other stuff is already we don't need to save that. So we only save what we need to save here. And so yeah, so that's the sort of positive thing about this. The negative was that now we're not structuring this the same way anymore. So we don't know which NPC this belongs to, but we can make a separate list that is sort of hard-coded for that. So we can make a separate list that will actually tell us which NPC will have what options. First off, I also want to change this enable thing, because that's not going to be in here anymore. So let's remove that. Okay. And right, so we were in the middle of changing over here as well. Now let's If you go to the dialogue system, now the dialogue system should depend on also the dialogue sort of container as well, along with the dialogue component, I guess. We really only need sort of the NPC ID to get what dialogues we want. So this, yeah, I mean, this could still be correct. Okay. But when we do this part, let's do this. Okay. And then we cannot do it like this anymore because we don't really have a list of places where we can populate by ID now. And we don't really need to populate like this anymore. So let's remove that. Okay. And then what we want to do is we want to go to well, let's fix this. No, not here. Yeah, these ones, we don't have that one anymore. Alright, so what we can do, we go to NPC and we will actually add the options here. Wait, no, we don't actually. We have the ID, so we should just wait, yeah, let's add it here actually. So this would be like the dialogue options. Option, and now we need the key. And this is gonna be key. No, dialogue options. There. Okay. So now we can define that wherever we do that. Where is that? Here? Yeah. So now here we just make a constant list here of the things that we want to have. So we don't get auto completion, which is bad, but we do get like waiting. Yeah, let's just add these things there. And then this guy doesn't have any dialogue, so it's gonna be an empty string. Okay. Right. Now, when we do this, we simply say options, or yeah, dialogue options here. Okay. And we don't need to grab the thing out and do this anymore. And we don't need the allocator, I guess, anymore. Okay, so let's fix some of the issues we have. Right, so now this one, we need the player component. And we have accept quest as well. Now, I don't think we have anything that we can do with this though. So let's just have this empty empty for now. And values. Oh yeah. So options. Yeah, this is gonna be so okay. Now this one is gonna be a bit different. We are calling this from somewhere here. Now we're not gonna call that from there. We're gonna grab the dialog container, which is gonna be singletons. Get dialog options states, and we need to grab that. We also need to add that to the singletons, but let's assume that we have it. So now we can say, well, do we have this functionality that we can actually grab out these things? We don't. So what we need to do is, because we have the list of keys, so we'll grab out the states, get states, and we have the keys. So this is going to be the keys, and then we'll get a list that we need to, I guess, yeah, we need to like free that. Caller needs to free return value. Okay, now this will be, no, this will be info, yeah. Get info, so yes. Okay. And so we will construct an array of option infos. And we need an allocator, and we're gonna choose 16 as a number, just, and then to own slice. Now we need an allocator, so let's pass in an allocator here. Right? Isn't this, can, oh wait, I need to catch a reachable here as well. To own slice, allocator, and because we're passing in an allocator, we need to catch a reachable. That probably, yeah. All right. Now we're going to loop through all the keys, and we have these functions now. We can get these options by ID. So let's do that. So array append, and then get option. I mean, I guess we do have the length, so we can just do this length, and then we know that we have it. So this is a bit more like optimized. You can assume the capacity, and I guess it will sort of panic if we actually don't have capacity. And this is the key. Okay. Oh, right. We need self as well. Okay. So now we're constructing an array with the capacity of the length of whatever we're using here. We are, I mean, I guess if we know the length, we don't really need an array list. What we could do is we could say this is allocator, and we can allocate this ourselves instead. We don't really need to be babysitted by this array list. We can just do this, and then this is gonna be, yeah, and then this is array. We need to do this, and then we just return this array instead. But this needs to be constant. Okay. Yeah. All right. So we can get the infos, and that's what we want to do. So, but also we want to have get like shown infos, I guess. Now, excuse me. We could be super fancy. We could have a function, like you could define like this function. You have a function that takes. No, I'm not gonna do that. But you can do some a little bit of functional programming here, where you make this sort of have a comp time function that you can filter through. But I'm just gonna do that. I'm just gonna copy this and have an if here. If this, wait, oh yeah, but now we cannot use this anymore. Okay, let's do the array unmanaged now, because now the variable, the length is sort of unknown. It's not really that important though. We could still use, you know, the same array length or whatever, but yeah. Slice. And we get the info. I don't know why this is a type. Okay, I don't know. Or why it thinks it's a type. Maybe I've done something wrong up there. We'll see. So get the info. Now we only want to add. We don't need this anymore. We only need to add the thing if it's shown. So we're gonna check if this is shown. Then we add it to the list. So then we append. And we can assume the capacity here. We append info there. Okay, a lot of things that we need to do before we can actually test this stuff, but right, it's gonna be good when it's done. So right, now we go back here and we can grab out the options from the container now instead, and we get shown infos and allocator, and then the keys are gonna be from the component options. All right, and Now this one is gonna be option, I think. This one is gonna be more like the info, option info, I guess. And the option and the label. Okay. Get enabled option. Yeah, so this one is not even, we don't even need to do this anymore. Or we don't do it from here. Okay. Right, so we are using it in a couple of places. So this is where we need to grab now the dialog container instead. So let's grab the dialog container. And that exists. And we need to grab the options from container, get shown infos, and options. Okay, so basically we need to replace that line with these two. Same thing here then. Yeah. Except this one is not nullable. Okay. And let's see here. Play component dialog equals this option. So now I think what we can do now is, instead of saying this is a pointer to the option, we're gonna say this is just a option key. So this is gonna be a dialog option key instead. Was it nullable or something? No, I don't think so. Where was we? Where was we? That's a Swedish way of saying it. Where were we? I guess is also a way. I don't know. So anyway, this is gonna be dialog option key from dialogs, and we don't need this. Okay. Right, so now we don't actually have the option readily available, I guess. I mean, we could store it as a pointer to the option, I guess. But we probably need... Okay, let's actually do it as the option. But then... What was the issue here? Oh yeah. Then this... Yeah, then this one is... Oh yeah, this is... Now we need to say option there instead. But this options is going to be destroyed though. So we probably don't want to store it as a pointer. Because I think the underlying... Yeah, these are sort of pointers anyway, so... We don't really need to store it as a pointer, I don't think. We're not gonna modify it anyway. Okay. And we'll do the same thing here. But now this one is a bit different. This one we need to have this. This needs to be a key. I think. Or maybe not, actually. Well, we might need it to be a key if we want to check some state when we use it, I guess. It probably needs to be changed to a key later, but let's keep this for now. Okay. What's going on here? Oh, this needs to be a var. Okay, no more compiler. errors. Okay, one thing more that we need to do is we need to add this to the registry. So let's go to game and let's go to load. No, here, initial. So here we'll just add the dialog options state, and we need to grab that. Let's just add it here. Whatever. There. And I'm not sure if we have an init. We do have an init. Okay, good. Great. Okay, another thing that we need to do also, none of these states are actually, the dialogues aren't shown from the start, so we actually need to call, where is it, show option on the ones that we want. And we don't really have a way to define that right now. Because what I'm thinking is we probably want to put that in the initial data. Maybe that should be like in the MPC data. Maybe we should have like two lists, one for like enabled from the start and then one for the others. No. Or? Because this list is not gonna change, it's gonna be static. So I don't wanna have it like you only add the ones that are enabled first and then you add more things to it later. It's gonna be like everything that we can ever have for this NPC. So, but the issue then is, yeah, how do we define which is gonna be enabled or not? From the start, I mean. I mean, I guess we could have two lists, but I mean, okay, we could do this. We could do initially enabled dialogue options. I'll just do it like this for now, and then we'll just do that. Okay, and then down here we simply copy that. Okay, and then we can go to here and we grab the dialog container, which we need to grab here as well. No, not container. States. And we say for each initially enabled option, we will show this option. Oh, we need an allocator. Do we have that? No. Okay, so we go through each one, we show the options, so now it's shown from the start. Yeah. Wait. Yeah. Okay, so now we have added the dialog container. We are showing the options from the start, which should be shown. Now, well, we also need to add the quest container, I guess, and we also need to deinitialize this dialog option thing. So let's see. We have this container stuff. Let's grab out the dialog container. Whoops. And we don't have a deinitialize for that, so I don't think. Or do we? Oops. No. So we do have initialize, but no deinitialize. Let's get that. And this will be states, deinitialize. Oh, we need an allocator. So now this means state allocator, which we don't have, so let's grab that. Oops. There. All right. Right. So we also need the quest as well. Quest states. Not sure what it's called, but come on, what's happening? Quest states. Okay. And we need to do the same thing here, deinitialize that. Quest container. And that one does not have deinitialize either, so we'll actually copy this. Oh, this needs to be mutable. So let's copy that and go here and paste it here. And now this is quest states, and it's basically the same thing. There we go. All right, so now we have those containers loaded and all that. So it should be fine to start using those. Okay, so I think now we can actually, there's no more compilers, so let's run this and test and see what's happening. I mean, yeah, this still works here. Okay, so I cannot, yeah, nothing happens when I accept, because that's like accept quest action and we don't do anything for that. So I guess it works actually. Cool. And I'm just gonna double check for the NPC here that does not have any dialogue as well. So yeah, nothing happens. Okay, cool. So everything still works, but now we're actually storing the mutable states for the dialogue options. We can change it, so we can hide and show different dialogues. We can also now use the dialogue system to accept quests
and change the state of that. So let's go to here, and we get this accept quest thing here now. And we do have this quest, which it says type here, but it's, you know, it's the enum. Yeah, the LSP doesn't have a good time with this stuff, but maybe, hopefully that will change in 0.14. I'm not gonna upgrade to 0.14 yet, but I'll wait for 0.14.1 and see if that's a good timing to switch. But I think I definitely want. I'm thinking a lot about this, and I think I definitely want to actually switch up to 0.14. But that's gonna be a future thing. Anyway, accepted. Yeah. So we have this quest now, and we can grab the actual quest from that. We probably, what we need to do is grab the quest container, like this, and we do need the registry now. Okay, so do we have that? No. Okay, there we go. Now we have it, and we get the quest container, and we need to grab this type. Maybe we should call it container instead of states, I don't know. But now we have this, and we can say accept quest, and it's gonna be this quest. Okay. Now we have this allocator that we need to grab as well. There. All right. So yeah, so we're accepting the quest, and now we can sort of end the conversation, I guess. And I believe now we should see that quest in the quest log. I don't know if that's all set up to be like that, but we'll see. We can go here. I have this quest, and then I go here and say waiting. Please wait 10 seconds. Okay. Okay, we don't get it there, but it should have changed the state, I think. Is accepted true, and then when we get the active quest, it should show it as accepted. Okay, let's double check the dialogues here. This one should target wait 10 seconds. One thing is we don't really show these options. Let's start there actually. So I think the dialogue system should have like a draw function here. Yeah, draw active dialogue. So we do have this. Then we also want to draw the sort of choices that you have.
if there are any choices to deal with. This one draws the actual text. Let's do it at the end here. So we'll do if. Do we have the option here? Yeah, active or active dialogue. If we are on the last page and we have any sort of responses, then we want to say draw responses. And this is now, the type is kind of long here. Component, option, and then response. Well, it's a list. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so basically you want to loop through these and draw them. And so let's keep a thing going on here. We will turn it into a float so we can work with the coordinates. And where do we actually want to put these? So I'm thinking like below the text box. So we need to grab this. I guess we need the screen as well. Let's just get rid of this here. Okay. And the start position, so the offset is gonna be at the bottom of that, and then we're gonna do like, let's do the width of the whole, so because I'm thinking we're putting the options in sort of a horizontal thing maybe, or should we put it in a vertical? No, let's put it in a vertical, I guess. So but we do want to have a sort of a set width, I guess, for it. Now when we're drawing the option, it's sort of the same thing as options, I guess. Choose option. It's gonna be sort of like this then. Except it's responses instead of options. So this is like I believe it's just label, yeah. And we have some padding, position. So we have options rect. Position size. Let's copy this as well, I guess. But this is going to be more at the center. So it's bottom center. And all right, options is responses. The height is set there. Okay. That's the height of each item. Oh yeah, we need a buffer and right. Yeah, that's the active one. So wait. Right, so we need that state as well. So we need to pass in active dialogue, which is wait. No, where is that? Where do we keep this? Oh yeah, it's the player component. Dialogue state, active, there we go. Okay, so this one needs to be active dialogue. Current response. Then we do a highlight thing. Response rect. Oh. Right, and we also need the draw system. Alright. Text color, but depending on the active item. We don't have the font, so let's grab that. Okay. So basically it's the same as the options. It's exactly the same, except the only difference is sort of the position of the box, and then some minor differences. So yeah, and now we need the registry active. Okay. Let's try that. So now we should see the responses that we can give. Yeah. Oh, but there's no background. We should be drawing the background in the other one here. Oh yeah. Wait. No, that's the dialogue rect. Yeah, here we go. Draw border rect. So we need that as well. Here. And this is responses rect. Okay, I even think we should probably like move it down a little bit. So let's add some Y to this. Let's add, I don't know, 16 or something. That's a good number. Oh, we got some errors. Oh, only Y, yeah, that's right. I need to take like a food break here soon, but let's see here. Okay, there we go. Now we got some dialogue options there. And yeah, we're gonna add a cursor as well. I haven't made the graphics for that yet, but I wanna add a little cursor there to show which one is selected, because it's not obvious, even though it's highlighted. When you have two options like that, it's often not super obvious all the time to everyone, or I mean, yeah, that depends on what you're used and all that. So it's when you have a cursor, you really nail it down that this is the one that's actually selected. But anyway, what was I thinking of? Oh yeah, so now we have that. So now we can actually go and look at the controls for the response. So here we are handling the response, but we're not actually handling inputs. So well, we are handling stuff here. I think we'll copy this. Yeah, this is only for choose option. Wait. This is like choosing the response. Handle choose response. We should have the like up and these inputs here. So let's do that. Let's have up, down, and these ones we don't need. But this is gonna be current response now instead. Whoops. And this is responses. Okay, and then we also need this was input on state for these as well. So we can edge detect instead of spamming up and down every frame. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, we probably want a sound effect for choosing a thing as well, but we can write that down in the to-do list. Sure, if I already did that. Talk sounds, no. Yes, now we actually have stuff here that we didn't actually write down. Multiple dialogues. Able to respond to dialogue. So this should be done, sort of. List of responses. Let's do like response sound effect. Or chosen, I should say. Okay. Yeah, so now you should be able to switch the response that you want to do. There we go. And we accept that. Or now we accept it, but it doesn't actually show up there. So also we get a lot of FPS when we post. I'm not sure that says something about the optimized state of this game, but it's, I mean, it's good that it's not optimized, because that's not the goal right now. Anyway, all right. So we do accept the quest, which should, I mean, set this to true and then save that in the state. Right. Which then should be used when we get the active quests to check that, yes. Yeah, because we're just getting the active quests and we're showing them. And wait, where are we actually doing this? Oh, we put that in the player component. This is actually not the same thing. Ah, so that's why this is different. Okay, well, I actually put this here. So I actually, yeah, I think we will not do that. Let's not do that. Let's, yeah. Okay, so this one we can just ignore, I think, right now. We will not, yeah, we've gone through testing that, so we don't need to do that. This one, we actually need to grab the quest container now instead. Yeah. And we grab this from the test quest container now. Yes. Quest container, yes. Okay. Now we need to grab quest states. Alright. And now this is actually unused, so we don't need this. Okay. Okay, now let's see if we can actually accept this quest. Waiting, okay. There we go. Now we have this quest in the quest log. Cool. We still cannot like complete it, but yeah, that's nice that it's actually working. Okay, so we can accept quests now. I mean, we're not really showing available quest options, but we are sort of, we have sort of scrapped this idea, I guess. We could maybe add it later, but the data structured in such a way that this is not really feasible or a sure thing anymore. We have to like sort of fine tune which options are gonna lead to potentially a quest. Or we can just scrap it entirely and just say that the player has to like explore the different dialogue options to get the quest. But maybe not for the main quest. That's probably gonna be like you're always gonna get to the next thing. I don't know. But I think this should be like sort of completed because we've sort of integrated now the quest in the quest system in the dialogue system now, which is what we strive to do. So that's done. And this one we don't have. This one we don't have, but we have added responses and a way to accept the quests. So able to accept a quest is done. Okay, so now we can accept quests from dialogues. And I would want to go to get to this at some point as well. It's not really necessary right now though. I do want to complete this sort of quest or dialogue / quest integration more. I'm just gonna take a little food break here, but I will be right back. So hang on for a couple of minutes and I will be right back. So I'll be in like, I don't know, 10 minutes or something like that. All right, I'm back. Yeah, whoops. I've grabbed myself some food. We had some leftover sandwich cake, which is kind of the best thing in the world. So I'll be eating that now, but I'll be doing stuff in the meantime as well. So, right, what next? I think now we can actually start on the notification stuff. Whoops. So let's make a new file here. Notification. So I think I'll just want to structure this as a structure. It's this. This is kind of like just some like it does. There's no state that need to be stored in the game or anything like that. I think this is just gonna be a sort of side effect library that shows some graphical stuff. I guess the notifications themselves have state, like when they should be disappear and stuff like that. But they're not gonna be saved anywhere. So this is just gonna be. Oh yeah, I guess we will need some sort of notifications. Sort of. I guess it could be sort of an entity that gets added, something like that. So there could be a notification, and let's say there is a title. Oh, it's not a podcast. It's a title. Let's say we have description, and I guess a type. So yeah, notification type, notification type, and this will be a. Let's just do an enum for now. So we'll do quest accepted, or new quest. I guess you can call it new quest. I guess there could be a difference, like it shows quest accepted, new quest. You know, if you find a quest like out in the wilds, or you get a quest somehow, you're not really accepting the quest, but well, okay, let's just call this new quest, and maybe the title is actually whatever's gonna be there. I don't know. New quest, completed quest, or quest completed. Quest progress. Okay, before we go bananas on the type, let's just implement this for one thing first, and then we'll see what we actually need to do here. So that's sort of it for the basic thing, I think. We don't really need any. I don't think we need any sort of references to the actual quest itself, but if we do, we can simply store that in the type, because you could have like other notifications, I guess, as well. I'm not sure what. I mean, I guess new area, stuff like that, new area notification. I mean, anything that sort of temporarily pops up at the screen that will do that. Okay. I just need to grab a bite here because I'm really hungry. I have barely eaten breakfast, so, and now it's sort of lunchtime, so I really need to eat something here. Let's see. Man, sandwich cake is really nice. Okay. Anyway. Okay, so let's make a system. Notification system. We need an update function and a draw function. So let's do that. So we need a registry. No, ECS. Wait, no. Oh yeah, function. Yeah. Okay. Right. So we'll start off with a view. And yeah, it's just going to be a basic view of notifications. And we'll do the iterator thing. While next entity, and we'll grab notification from entity. All right. So now we have notification, and oh yeah, we need sort of how do we want the notification to? I mean, I guess it's just gonna be disappearing after a while. We might have some, you know, fancy animation or something that makes it a little bit easier on the eyes. But I think for initially, we're just gonna have hides at or ends at, and that's the timestamp. And we're gonna check, and then when it ends, it's actually gonna we're just gonna destroy the thing. So if wait, what's happening? Oh, we don't get the actual type. But if ends at is less than or equal to t, so we need to get t as well. If nset is less than or equal to t, that means it has passed. That means we need to destroy this entity. However, I'm not sure about this destroying the entity in the iteration. So we need to keep track of entity to destroy. And we need standard library, array list. Let's just have it managed, whatever. We just have one list, so it's fine. And this one is entities, so we'll initialize that with allocator. So we need to grab the allocator as well, which is going to be registry signatals get const allocator, and this one is this type. Come on, allocator. Okay. And then we defer de-initialize that. We also say in the end we go through all entities to destroy, and we say registry destroy entity. All right. So if we are sort of time up here, we will append entity to this. We also need to cache unreachable. Oh yeah, this is a timestamp. Okay. So we basically go through each notification, and it has a timer, and when it's up, it dies. I think we could just as well use the destroy timer on this. I think we have one. We don't. Death component. Destroy at. So we do have a death component that we can use instead. So simply add the death component to the notification entity, and it will be destroyed at that point. So we actually don't need all this logic because we already have it. So I don't think we actually need any update logic in that case. It's only if we need some sort of logic around this. I don't think we do. No. Okay. I mean, the only thing that I can think of is like, because in some games, like sort of Breath of the Wild, for example, if you get a quest, it also says, you get the notification, but then it also says, oh, press this key or button to open the quest log or the adventure log or whatever. Then you actually go and see that it's like highlighting the quest in the quest log. And you see the details and everything. So it's like a shortcut to look at more details of the quest, if you want. And then it just disappears and then. So we could have something like that, but I'm not gonna add that right now. So I'm simply gonna do draw. So disregard everything we did. I'm just gonna go do draw here. And we need the registry. And yeah. So we don't have like any animation or anything, so we don't really need T here either. So let's just draw here. So now actually let's do this. Let's go back and we'll change this to draw. We'll remove this. And we don't need this or this, but we do want to look at this. So now we can draw each notification like this instead. So, well, ideally you would only have sort of one notification at a time, because if you have multiple, well, I guess one notification of one type. I mean, I guess if you want to have sort of a new area notification, that's going to be different from a new quest notification or quest completed notification or whatever. So they might be okay displaying multiple at once, but if you get several like quests completed, you probably want to like show them in succession or some sort of summary, or I don't know. But that's, yeah. Or you can just design the game such a way that you're never gonna like have that problem. I think in like I would show the same sort of notification sequentially, such that if you have 10 at the same time, it's going to show each one at different times. So it's first going to show the first one, when that's done it shows the second one, and so on. And it might even speed up the, if you have several, it's gonna like, it might speed up sort of the ones that you had before, or I mean, yeah, the first ones, and then the last one is like normal duration. I don't know, we'll see. But anyway, how we're gonna draw this? So this sort of should depend on the type of notification. So we'll do a switch on the type. So if it's a new quest, which is the only one that we actually have right now, I guess we want to draw a new quest. And we're gonna actually want to add new area as well. These two I will actually disable for now. So I want to have both of these because it's kind of fun to mess around with these. Let's see, draw new area, new quest. Okay, so we need to do these. And let's do this to get rid of this thing. And we'll also pass that in, and then here we'll do new quest. It's just gonna be a notification type. Well, actually, we don't actually have any info here, so we just pass in the notification, I guess. So, yeah. Oops. That's gonna be the notification. And we'll do the same thing here. Oh my god, come on. Notification. Okay, so I'm gonna grab a bite here. All right. I'm sorry if that came through way too loud on the mic. I'll try to mute next time. I'm not sure how much that noise that makes, but anyway. Okay, so this one we're gonna do this. Draw new quest. So what I'm thinking is basically we're just gonna draw a sort of like the other things. We're just gonna draw a black box that shows up sort of maybe at the bottom, or even at sort of the same area as the dialogue, maybe, because the bottom is more like the player is never gonna be at the top of the screen. Well, actually, if you're at the top of a level, so you're gonna be at the top of the screen. But I guess it's less likely. So I think having the notification be at the top will be less intrusive. It could also be like very small, I guess. Or it could be like, you know, at the top right corner or something like that. Let's go to the dialogue system, because here we have this thing. So let's copy this again. We should probably have this in a like a drawing library, but yeah. Now we copied it 3 times, or we have 3 copies of it. I mean 3 like separate places where it is. So it's probably high time to actually put this in a thing. I'll do it for the next time, I promise. Okay, we need vector. We need CGE. We need AABB. And yes. Oh, raylib. There we go. Okay, so now we have means to draw a border direct. So we need to figure out, okay, how big is this notification window gonna be? So I'm thinking if we look at the game, let's count the tiles. So we have up here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm thinking sort of like 8 tiles, maybe 8 by 4, something like that. Let's try that. So this would be, we don't have the scale either here, so that's an issue, but whatever. Let's just hard code it in here. There's gonna be an issue with hard coding it later, but yeah, we need to figure out all the places where we hard coded the scale, because we might actually don't want to have the scale. Well, actually, well, yeah, because if we wanna change the scale, it's gonna be hard. But if, yeah, okay, never mind. I'm not gonna go into that rant. So anyway, we need to focus here. The rectangle, so what we said was sort of 8 by 4, and then we do times 4, that's the scale, and we also need times 16, which is the tile size, so we also don't have that. Probably not gonna change the tile size at this point, so that's probably safe to use. I think the scale is safe to use as well, but anyway, so we have this rect now, and I'll just put this here to do fetch scale and tile size from common place. Okay, so we have that as a to do, so now we can at least sort of search for this and we can find that. Okay. Anyway, so we have this rect. Now we can do draw bordered rect. Oh well, we need a draw system as well. So we need a registry, yes. Okay. And we do draw bordered rect. System and the rect. Okay. Yeah, we don't do anything with the notification yet, so but let's do that actually. So let's go. Oh yeah, we need the position as well. The position is wrong, and this is not an AABB, so it's a vector. So this is not actually the rect. This is the position or the offset, I should say, maybe, or the, no, this is the rect position. Or no, it's not even the position, I'm sorry, it's the size. We don't have the position really yet. The position sort of depends on the size. We also need the screen. Okay, so this is gonna be screen size half. So now we're at the bottom right. So let's times that by, not scalar. So we want to go to the right, but then we want to go to the top. So let's do that. Right, and then we want to subtract half of this size. Okay, and then the actual rect is gonna be from center position. Now that's the center, and then we have the size, and this one doesn't matter. Okay. So now we should have a bordered rect at sort of the top right of the screen. It's like hugging the top right, so maybe we want some sort of margin as well. So let's add a little bit of margin. So we're gonna do negative, negative the margin, and the margin is gonna be, I don't know, 1 by 1 tile, I guess. So let's do tile scale. There we go. Okay. So now we should see that, but we need to draw. We need to add a notification entity, and we also need to draw this thing. So what we do is, I guess we could fake a notification here. After this, we do draw new quest, and the notification is gonna be new quest. The title is gonna be wait for 10 seconds. The description is gonna be you need to wait for 10 seconds. And then ends at is gonna be, actually we don't have an ends at. Ends at should be removed. Okay, so now we have a permanent notification, sort of, here. And we need to go to game and to draw. And here we do notification system draw. And we need to grab, right. Let's go here. Let's actually, whoops. Let's add that here, notification system. So this is sort of the UI almost place. Okay. So now we're calling draw there. Now we should, oh, we've got errors. Oh. Well, we don't need it to be a pointer, so there we go. Okay, that was it, I think. I don't see. Oh yeah, I think yeah. No, but yeah, I was thinking maybe we need to do screen coordinates, but I don't think we do that. We need to do that with this one. This already adds screen. Yeah, this already adds screen coordinates. So I'm not sure what's the deal with this. So we start at 0. That's the center of the screen. We add half of the screen. So we're now at the bottom right corner, right? Yeah. And then we reverse the Y. So we should be at the bottom top. Or as I mean the top right. Yeah, from bottom right to top right. Then we do negative the size of this rect. Half. So that should give us like the center of the rectangle. And then also some margin. And yeah, that should give us the correct thing. Then we have this rect, which should be correct. Okay, I'll just take a bite here.
And we are drawing the things, so yeah, I'm not sure what's happening here actually. It might be the position is way off. Maybe we don't need to scale it. No, we need to scale it, I think. Yeah. Is this wrong, the tile scale? I mean, if we lower this, it's gonna be, you know, more likely to be that we can see it. No? Nothing at all, anywhere that I can see. Interesting, curious. Very well. I mean, what if we say this is 0 and the size should be fine. What if we do this? Wait, you can't do that. Okay. Let's do let's remove this and this and this. Let's just do 0. So what's gonna happen then? We should see it in the middle now. Okay, so we do see it. Maybe it should be in the center. No. Okay. So is the position very, very wrong? It feels like this should be correct. I mean, what if we do this? Then it should be at the top right corner. Right? Yes. Okay. And then we remove half of the rect size. So that should put it at, you know. Or should we add it? That feels wrong. Is it because we need to... Oh, wait. We need to no. Oh, wait. We need to add... Okay. We need to do this. The X needs to be negative and the Y needs to be positive. That's... I think that's more correct. And then... Yeah. And then we need to do the same for the margin, I think. So let's do this. Let's do scalar half for that. We'll put that in a bracket and we'll say negative margin. And then this is also... Wait, we do negative here. No, we do plus. Yes, plus. So we get a quantity here that we need to like move left and down with. So
then we say this should be left and down. Okay. There we go. Now we get what I want. So basically, now I wanted to say something like quest accepted or quest whatever. I also thought maybe we wanna change the font as well to be more like, you know, the Nintendo 8-bit font, because I'm sort of going with like Nintendo vibes, 8-bit vibes, for the amount of colors used. Well, ignore the background, but for the tiles, not for the number of tiles. I have way more, I think, number of tiles than, well, we're gonna have way more number of tiles than is possible, I think, on a NES. I don't want to be limited by that, but the colors is sort of, it makes you sort of think more about what colors to use, and also the characters don't really apply to this either, but it's just the tiles right now. I'm not sure if I want the characters to be part of that. I do have a bunch of, from the colors I already used, I have a lot of colors left in the palette to fill up, but yeah, I don't know. But anyway, so that's why I think maybe we should use sort of, you know, the classic Nintendo font as well. I need to look up which one I can use for the game, but I mean, it feels like a lot of games are using sort of exactly the same font, and it's probably fine to use. So let's see. Okay, yeah. So sorry. So yeah. So we have the thing now, the box at the correct place. Now we wanna draw some text. So I think I want. Okay, we need a buffer. And we're gonna have the title. And yeah, this is gonna be, well, actually the title I think it's gonna be like quest accepted or new quest. New quest. Okay. We'll do this. We'll say draw text, I guess X. Yeah, we need the font as well. Font. So the first text is gonna be new quest. The position is gonna be top left plus, I guess, one tile. Then the font size, so it's gonna be this, except we need sort of or it's gonna be Y, I think, yeah. The spacing, I don't really know too. This is gonna be light gray, I think. Okay, so that's the new quest part. Then I think we'll do this plus 1 or 2 tiles down. Yeah. We're not really gonna have a description for the notification, I don't think. Let's actually remove this. I don't think we're gonna have description. There's no room for that. So this is gonna be like 2 tiles down. So it's gonna be 0 that, and then, well, let's do only y, and then only y of that times 2, and font size, and then yeah, let's put that there, and let's put this here. Let's do tile size. No, let's do tile height, and then this is the same, but it's also scaled. So I mean, let's just do this times the scale, okay? And then this is scale times tile height. Okay. Now down here, this one will be font size. Yes. Okay. Yeah, and we don't have a description. Braille font. Okay, get cost. Oh, and this one needs to be to Braille. Also this. And catch unreachable. There. Okay. So let's see what it says now. It should say new quest and then the title. No. Great. Did it show up anywhere on the screen? I just looked at the quest thing. No, I don't see anything. It is drawn at the end, so it should... Ah, the screen position. Yeah. So let's start with this. Let's do text offset. That's gonna be this plus tile scale. Alright, and then we also do screen this one. There we go. And then this one we do text offset. This one is text offset plus that. There we go. That should work. Alright. So it's a bit large, I guess. Each letter is basically like a tile. So maybe it should be like a fourth of a tile or something. I don't know. I don't know how it will look with other font. I'm not gonna fix that right now. It's all. We can always modify that later. So I'll just reduce the font size a little bit. We'll take this over 4. Whoa. Maybe not that much. Okay. I'll change the offset a little bit as well. So let's do plus this times a half as well. It should probably be like font size instead. Yeah, let's change this to font size. There we go. And then the size of the rectangle can be changed to like the height could be changed to font size times 4, I think, or 5 maybe. Or wait, I'm gonna display 5. So 5 times font size. Because there's gonna be like 5 rows or lines. And now this one is actually gonna be font size times 2 instead. So that's sort of the line height, you could say. If you're talking sort of web dev. Oh. Okay. It's 5 times. Oh, right. Because we're scaling it with that. So let's do 0 and then we add. Whatever we had there. This, yeah. There we go. Alright, that's our little notification there. Not much to look at, but at least we have something that shows up. So we can always, like, I want the functionality to be there and we can mess with the graphics later. Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay, whatever. Let's remove that. We already have this here now, so we can search for it whenever we need to. Okay. Yeah, so let's see. Let's bring this together here. Right, so that's the new quest. I think for the area, I sort of want something maybe more center on the screen itself. Maybe even no background. It's gonna be interesting with sort of the 8-bit aesthetics, how we want that to look like. Oops. Draw text. What can you do here, really? Yeah. I think we'll just show a thing at the bottom. So we'll sort of do the same thing. But this is gonna be, we're not gonna spell out new quest. We're gonna do the title of the notification. And we're not gonna draw that. We're gonna do, so the size of the thing is basically, I think this basically gonna be the center of the screen. So the size is basically gonna be the screen size. So let's do screen size times no, x. So that's the width of the size, and then we add the y, which is like 1 font size, and I guess we can double the font size for this. We'll see how it looks, and we'll just modify it accordingly. Okay. Draw system we don't need, and so now we actually we need to measure this text. We need the font, we need the text, we have the font size and the spacing. Okay, so that's the measurement. Then we need to, yeah, the offset is going to depend on the measurement. So this is going to be, we don't do this, we just do well, negative measurement. Let's do from RL. Actually, let's do it here. And then we can say measurement times half. Okay, and that's the offset. So there we're kind of showing we want to show it at the center bottom of the screen. We need to add registry there. Okay, so the position here is size half times, so the center is going to be the width there, and then the bottom one. And then we're gonna do the same sort of stuff that we're doing, except we don't do margin, I don't think. Well, we can have a little bit margin, I guess. But then this is gonna be, I think, purely negative now. Well, the margin, I guess the margin is always only gonna be in the Y position. Let's do that. Or we can just say negative here. Okay. I'm just gonna run this and see. Oh wait, we need to call this as well. New area. Village. The village. Maybe we should spell out new area as well. I'm not sure. I mean, it's such a common trope or whatever to just have the thing come out when you're entering a new area, and I think most people will understand that it's a new area that we're talking about. You don't have to spell it out. You don't have to spell everything out all the time. New area. Okay. Where, why, how, We are converting it to screen position. We're taking the measurement, putting it in the center there. This guy should be at the center X at the bottom, and then we go up the margin and have the size. Oh yeah, which is like the entire screen on X. Oh yeah, we don't want to go. Actually, it doesn't really make sense to have a size. It only makes sense to have a position in this case. So let's actually just do this. And we don't need a rectangle, we can just use the position directly. Now what? There we go. Except the font size is not changed. Okay. So this is gonna be new area font size. It's gonna be font size times 2. So new area font size. Oops. There we go. Now it says the village down there. Okay. Yeah. But it, yeah. Maybe it should be even larger, actually. Maybe times 3. I mean, we're gonna change the font anyway, but yeah, let's just have it like this for now. I'm not sure if we're gonna change the font actually, but I think it would be nice to have more yeah, more like the 8-bit feel, I guess. Okay. So those notifications now are look functional, at least. So we have that. Now I guess we could add these things. Quest completed as well. So quest completed is sort of like when you turn it in, I guess. And then progress is like, yeah, now you can turn it in, or you made some progress. And then the next goal is like, go and turn it in, or whatever. And then you complete it. Okay. I think we need a generic function for this. Draw quest notification. And we're gonna have a header. And we're gonna say here is, this is the header. And then this is gonna be draw quest notification, new quest notification. What? And then this one is gonna be draw quest completed. Quest completed. Maybe even different like colors. But yeah. Quest progress. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, and we need quest completed. draw quest completed. Quest progress. Okay. Whoops. Expected this, found that. Okay. Let's change the type. Alright. Yep, so now we have a bunch of different notifications. And well, technically now we can actually spawn notifications. Let's just add this here. So create notification, and yeah, we'll just add notification here. So, and then we need the registry. So we have the notification data, and then we also ends at, or maybe sort of duration, I guess. No, let's do, well, duration, and then we need t. Okay. So we'll create the entity. We will add notification. Wait. Entity and then the notification. We'll also add a death component, which we need to grab. And we'll do t plus duration. So that means that it will be destroyed after the duration in seconds. And I think that's it actually. That's all you need to do to create the notification. Now, and then it will go in here and it will draw the correct notification there. So now let's go to the dialog system, and we need to go here. Well, we need to pass t around as well here, but we'll worry about that when we get there. So accept quests. Here we want to say now notification accept. I mean, we could have separate for this. Quest accepted. I guess that could be a separate thing. I don't know. Draw. I mean, it's easy enough to add. Whoops, again. We need the notification system. Notification system. Create notification. The registry, we need the notification. The type is quest accepted. The title is gonna be oh. Yeah, we don't have the title actually. So maybe okay, we need the quest then. So let's grab that. Quest container, get by ID. There we go. That's the quest. Now we can create this. And the title is gonna be quest label. The duration of the notification. I mean, I don't know, 5 seconds. T we need to grab somewhere. So we need to grab T here. And that means we need to grab T here. And that means we need to grab T here. And T there. And T there. And now we add T, or yes. That should be good. Oh. Wait. That's not a member function. Okay. Let's just make this a member function because yeah. It's easier that way. Oops. Or I mean, it's more convenient to have that pattern. Okay. Now we have this quest. No more compiler errors. So now when we accept the quest, we should see quest accepted notification for 5 seconds and it should disappear. Okay, quest accepted. Wait for 10 seconds. There we go, it disappeared. Right. And we look at the quest log, we see that we have the quest. Cool. Great. So let's go to do, because now we've actually done the notification stuff. So we do have this, we have this, we have this. No. Well, I guess we do have that. Let's just say progress and we do this. And this is actually, we have different ones for these new quests. And we also have new area as well. Except, yeah, new area is not like, none of these are like implemented in where they should trigger. But, well, except for new quest, or quest accepted, I mean. Also, new area, that also implies we need to store if we've actually visited an area, but I get, yeah. More quests available in village. Huh? What's this? More quests available in village. Oh yeah, so this one is like, oh yeah, I forgot about this one. If there's like a notification that shows up that helps you find new, or makes you aware that there's more stuff to do now in the village, so you don't think that it's like static and never changes. I don't think we're gonna have this though. You're gonna go back to the idea is that you're gonna get back to the village as a sort of hub area. And stuff is going to be updated every time you clear a new area and stuff like that. I'm just going to eat a little bit. Alright. So, we done a bunch of stuff. Now, so for this quest, I'm just gonna see. So, I guess what we need for quests as well is a sort of arbitrary state, maybe just in the form of a bit field or a counter, something that tells you what's the progress of this quest. And I'm thinking of that because should they all be sort of have this generic way of storing the progress, or should we have like different depending? I mean, we could have different depending on what type of quest it is, I guess. That could be something. So you could have like, well, it's not gonna be in here, it's gonna be in the state here. So yeah, we do have these, but then the progress could be different depending on what type of quest it is. So let's do this. And here we could have a union enum. And we could say sort of, you can have a quest that is sort of, I mean, it's either completed or not. You can have a quest that is like, you have to gather 10 of these, so then it's like 1 of 10. You can have multiple, I guess, of those. You can have, yeah, really whatever you want. So I think for, and then you probably want to have different steps to complete it. So you want to have like, yeah, first you have this step, but then you also have like, you need to turn it in as well. So I think we'll do steps. Progress step. Well, it's not gonna be const, is it? It's gonna be, yeah, probably steps, so that you can have several steps in one quest, which will sort of advance the quest as well. And maybe that can tie into different things in here, so you can have multiple maybe descriptions based on the number of steps that you have as well. Maybe you can have a description or descriptor here about how the quest is structured, and then based on that we create a state for the progress based on that. I mean, that would be a really, I guess, sophisticated way of doing it, but I'm just gonna be 1 second here. yeah, I think I have to call it now. But yeah, we made a lot of progress this session. So next up, I believe, yeah, it's gonna be like quest progression, because I haven't actually really thought about that. Would be nice to, if we could have some sort of generic structure that's part of the quest state, and that way we keep everything sort of the correct, what do you call it, responsibility in the same place, so we don't like fracture these things to keep the, because my initial thought was maybe we can keep it in the global state somehow, but it makes sense to have it in the quest state. That's gonna be ending up in the global state anyway, but yeah, so that's kind of what I'm thinking with that. But anyway, I need to think about this. I need to also make some more graphics so that we can really make the dialogues and the quest and everything, the quest log, look a little bit better. I need to figure out the font situation. The actual text box itself, like the black background with the border, the gray border, needs to be also a little bit upgraded. So I think I will focus on that next time. But for now, thank you very much for watching.